Welcome back. Let's get straight back to Birmingham now. It's the Reform UK conference. I'm joined by the political advisor, Pablo O'Hana. Pablo, welcome to the show. Nigel Farage said reform is the last chance to get this country back on track. Presumably, you don't agree.
Well, he's the leader of Reform Party, so I would expect that kind of those kind of lines from him. I do think it's very clear there's a lot of energy here. The thing, not that it's my place to be advising the Reform Party, but I'd be very cautious about how that kind of energy translates to actual votes and seats in a general election. We're obviously 3, maybe 4 years away from that. But yes, to your point, I would not agree that Nigel Farage and reform of the party that we need. But we live in a democracy where everyone is entitled to stand, and all of that comes out in the wash in a general election campaign.
But have you heard anything? I mean, in terms of the momentum, the energy and the mood, we're seeing a funereal atmosphere on Downing Street today. The phrase that keeps getting used by political experts as this reshuffle commences is rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. And meanwhile, where you are right now, the mood seems to be very much, if you're out at sea, it's a turquoise tidal wave, raising, as Nigel Farage said, raising everybody towards Downing Street.
Yeah, I don't think this is a great look for the Labour government. If I was in there, I'd be really concerned about, as you say, this kind of rearranging the deck chairs and the Titanic mentality. And once that gets hold, it's very difficult. We've seen, obviously, with the past Conservative government, people really don't like that chaos. And a big part of Labour getting into government this time was that people were really tired of that chaos. They wanted to see a change from that. They wanted kind of stable government. And this isn't projecting that. I do think, you have to give time for governments to settle in. And, this government is unique in the sense that they really didn't get any kind of honeymoon period at all. They quickly had a tough time. But I think that there needs to be, if this Labour government is to succeed and they're kind of going to win back trust in the public, they've really got to stabilise things. They've got to project strength and confidence. At the moment, that isn't what's happening. The antidote to that, in my opinion, is not the Reform Party. But, it's the Labour Party really does need to kind of get their act together. And I'm obviously not here to defend the Labour Party, but that would be my advice if I was there.
Yeah, if you're defending the Labour Party from inside the Reform UK conference, then you really are on a lonely wicket, Pablo O'Hana. But on a serious point, the biggest crisis facing the nation right now is and continues to be the small boats crisis. And Nigel Farage made a bold claim today at that conference. You were there, of course. We will stop the boats within 2 weeks. Now, Rishi Sunak said he would stop the boats. He couldn't. He was disposed of. Keir Starmer said his party will smash the gangs. All his smashing is records the amount of ministers kicked out in his term. It's a bold claim. Can Nigel Farage deliver on it?
It's a really tough one, and it is made tougher by us having left the EU. So many people will know, but when we left the EU, we left something called the Dublin Arrangement. That makes it a lot harder to get people out of our country when they shouldn't be here. We all agree that illegal immigration is a problem, even though less than 5% of immigration in this country is illegal. But illegal immigration should be tackled. And when we were in the EU, when someone arrived into Europe, they would have their case handled in the country that they arrived in. They couldn't then just hop around to the country. The problem is that we're not in the EU, of course, so those people can arrive in France or Germany or wherever, and they have their case denied, and then they have a second chance in the UK. So actually, us leaving the EU, which was, of course, Nigel Farage's lifetime ambition, and he achieved it, and it has been nothing but a disaster. But since then, things have only got worse. So yes, he can talk about, ending illegal immigration, which, as I say, accounts for less than 5%.
Pablo O'Hana,
Pablo O'Hana,
you have a brass neck that put Angela Rayner to shame. You stood there in the Reform UK conference blaming Brexit for the current small boats crisis that's obliterating the Labour Party. What have you been drinking?
Well, how else would you like to account for the 4-fold increase in illegal immigration since we left the EU?
OK, Pablo, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to come back, of course, to the Reform Conference throughout the rest of the day. I always enjoy your company. I sincerely do. Pablo O'Hana, thank you for joining us there live from the Reform UK Conference in Birmingham. A huge